Hi, welcome back. We've got another signature that we're going to be working on for our album, and it is going to go right here. So it's going to be signature 1 for page 2. And we'll go ahead and get, oh, I need to do something before I forget because I almost did. I have some of this really pretty bling that I want to get on my cards to create a little bit of color. There we go. Okay, so this is what I have going here. This is our base page, which is measuring at 8 3/8 across. I'm trying to stay pretty consistent with that. So 8 3/8 across and 8 5/8 in its height. And again, I've inked my edges. And I'm going to desperately try to get through this signature without a whole lot of mess up. So we'll see how it goes. All right, we're going to work on our flaps first. This is our right side flap, and it is going to measure in at the 8 5/8 in the height by 6 inches across. You are then going to score it at a 1/2 inch and then again at 5/8 of an inch. And I'm going to run some tape down this. And I'm going to go ahead and get it attached to the base page. Now you know that at any time you can stop your video and then to catch up with me. Okay, I just saw something. That's why. Okay, I need to give you the height on this. This is actually 8 3/8 in its height. And the reason for that is I'm working with some half sheets out of the collection. So I'm going to do my best to center this. It's going to be off just a wee bit on the top and the bottom. And get that in there. And I'll show you what I'm talking. There's another one that's going to happen too. So this one is also going to measure in at 8 3/8, but its width is going to be a little bit longer. So this is, you're going to come in right at 9 inches. So 8 3/8 in the height by 9 inches. That's allowing for the scallop, and then for the 1/8 of an inch you'll probably lose after you do your trim, if you're doing that. And then you're going to score it at a 1/2, and then you're going to score it again at 5/8. Get this tape put on here, and then we'll get it onto the base page. Okay, so these are going to be a little bit short, but no big deal. And that is because I'm trying to accommodate, where is it? This piece right here. This piece only measured in at 8 inches. And then its entire width was at about roughly 8 1/4 inches across. I did not want to cut any of this. That would made for some very small panels. So I opted to go for a little larger panel. And then over here, we have this short piece that I cut. It's going to go in behind here. And it happens to have a doorway. Well, I cut out the door, matted it, and then mounted it so there's a little bit of height here. So this is going to be how the front of it's going to look. So we're going to have the scalloped edge, a little bit of the underside kind of peeking out. But this is a lot of area. So I took one of the cards and I cut and made a little tuck that's going to go here on the front. Okay. So then on the inside, I had a scrap piece left over. I really think it's gorgeous. So I am going to make a pocket out of it, and it's going to come in over here after this piece. Sorry, got them a little out of order. So the music sheet, in fact, that's where this came from, was the back side of this. The music sheet is going to come down here. And then we're going to have this nice scalloped pocket down here. And then over here, we're going to finish up with the door. And then on the back side of this, we're going to have this piece. It is the other half to this. So you're going to cut it at 6 inches. And then you're going to turn it over. And then for here, I took a couple of tags, mounted them, going to run some tape here, and then I'm going to just create a couple of nice little tucks here on this side. For the center, which is going to be the last thing we're going to work on, because everything else is going to be fairly easy. We'll get it all mounted and done. We are going to create a hidden hinge, and then it's going to go here, and then a lot of these cards, and then some paper that we're going to cut are going to go on the back side to create some photo mats that will go here on this page. And then I cut some strips that will go in here to kind of hide a lot of that blue. And these will blend nicely with this gray piece. So this will be the last piece. I'll give you all the instructions for this when we get there. So let's go ahead and let's get this piece attached and built. Oh, before we do anything, we've got to figure out what we're going to do for magnet. Don't want to forget about that. All right, this being the largest piece, and it does come over here and cover this piece quite well. So I'm going to put this in about 1 inch over here to my left. And then making sure that your gussets are nice and flat and that your pages line up. And then we'll commit that magnet. And then I'm going to put just a tad bit of tape. All right, now we can address this. I think I'm going to start with the smaller panel over here. Get my glue down there. I should have refilled this bottle before I started. And we'll go ahead and get these tags put in. Get that excess tape rolled back in there. I did that on both of them. Well. All right, so let's go over here to this. I need to glue, not glue, I want to tape this in. Then the painstaking part of this. So you can halt the video during this part. You know what to do. Just I'm just simply not going to glue this in. I've already had to dig into one of these because I didn't like my magnet placement. So I took it apart and reset them. Whoops. Make sure that tape is all pushed under. Then I'm going to line this up. Wow, I gotta take a little bit off this edge because it's not letting me line it up. Okay, let's try this again. I just want to come right up to the gusset and then line this up. It's not going to get any better. I would like to get my, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and put this in. This paper is so pretty. just going to line this up right next to that gusset, top to bottom. And then I'm going to glue this piece in right there. Alright, so there's that pocket. And let's go ahead and put this side in. I'm going to tape mine down. You can do whatever it is you wish with yours. And you know that these are your albums, so you can make whatever changes. If I do something you don't really like it or don't care for it, it's your album. Go ahead and make the changes. You've got to love what you do. And then I'm going to add a smidgen of glue around this. I've got some tape here I need to push back when I get this peeled off of here. Okay. And let's go ahead and set our door in there. Okay, I'm going to peel off all these items. And we're just going to set this right back in here. Adds a little bit of height to this piece. And I think I'm going to take one of my smaller gems and I'm going to put it right there. Okay, so that is all done. Let's go to the front. And I'm going to glue this. I hope I have enough glue in my bottle. I don't want to tape this. It doesn't need to be taped, but it's a big piece. And then I'm going to glue this on. And we'll just put this right down here, offset it off the bottom a little bit, and now we've got a nice little tuck that you can put on the front, put a small note or something there. Okay, so now we're going to work on the piece that I'm going to put here in the center. This is a hidden hinge, and I have literally made a mess of it trying to get the measurements right. I did not want great big huge, I think they call these peaks, and this is the valley. I didn't want big peaks, and I may have cut too many of these. I may have made this too big. So I want to do something real quick. I should have done it beforehand. So, no, yeah. So it's going to go on like this, and then this panel is going to go in over the other side. Interesting. Yes, I'm just going to work with it. All right. So this piece that I did here, now if you know how to make a hidden hinge, then you're going to be way ahead of the game than I am on this. So this piece, I ended up cutting it at 6.5 inches by 5 7/8. Let me just double check that for you. By 5 3/4. So 5 3/4. You are going to score at 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch, 1 1/2, 1 3/4, 2 inches, 2 1/2, 2 3/4, 3 inches, 3 1/2, 3 3/4, 4 inches, 4 1/2, 4 3/4, 5, 5 1/2, and 5 3/4. So by the time I got done, I had 1/4 inch peaks with 1/2 inch valleys, I do believe is what these are referred to. And then I have roughly a 1/2 inch flange on each side. So my intent here is to take and mount one side of my card, get this on here, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to attach this here, and then I'm going to come in with the back piece to cover the peak on this as best as possible. I should have made these a little bit taller. But what if I don't make them any taller, then what happens is on the back side, if I come all the way to the bottom, then you're going to have a great big gusset here. So if you want to kind of split the difference just a little bit, then you can kind of come up off this edge. Again, this is something I've tried. Don't know how efficient it's going to be, but when this is all done and everything's mounted on here, then this is going to come in and set in here, and then they're going to lay sideways, so then you've got your photo mats. So it's just a little different. So let's get it together and let's see how well this is going to work. I honestly don't. I may be showing you something that is not going to be totally functional. So we'll see. And again, if you've made hidden hinges, you will know exactly what to do. They're very new to me. I don't play with them a whole lot. I wanted to try it for this, so I'm going to now put glue on this back side. And then I'm going to center this in here. And then I'm going to lay this piece over that to make the seal. Now, I'm pretty confident in the glue, so if I wanted to, I'll just cover this up just a tad bit. The glue I use is pretty good glue. And then just cover that seam so there's not quite as big of a gap on this one end here. Okay, first one in. And it's going to all lay this way. If I can get these things to lay down. I needed to burnish them a little bit more, I think. Trying something new, so if you don't like what I've done, or you know the hidden hinge better and you can create a better system, go for it. I did cut all of my cards down to 3 3/4 so that they were all the same size in their width, and then 5 3/4 in their height so that everything was the same size. Okay, so now we'll come in on this side. And I'm going to line it up with the one that's already in there, and then I'm going to push it down this way. That way I get these as even as I can. It's a lot of scoring for just a small piece of cardstock. But if you want a larger peaks than what I've done, you can change your scoring. You'll need a larger piece of cardstock so you can get those score lines done all the way across there. Now these cards have, each one, some of them have different sayings than others. So pick a card that you want to have on the front. I chose this because of its saying, let life surprise you. But there's a couple of others in there that have different sayings. So you can pick whichever one you want, put it on the front. tedious work. Now one side I put a decorative piece, and then the other side I am using a plain piece. It did take a 12 by 12 sheet to cut these extra panels. And if you cut your cardstock at 4 inches and 8 inches, you will have what you need to put this together. Yeah, you could probably make your peaks 3/8 of an inch, make it easier. Like I said, I'm a little bit new at the hidden hinge. Just learning its function. Last one. So if you're kind of holding off to see how this turns out, I don't blame you. This is something I've not tried before, full disclosure. So we'll see how this turns out. If you don't like this, then you can come up with something else. You could probably replace it with a true waterfall on its normal structure. Put some glue underneath here. It's not. Oh. Definitely got the glue in there. Okay, so it's laying pretty nicely this way, but I really want it to lay this way. So I'm gonna kind of burnish, encourage, set that aside. And I think before I put it in there, I'm gonna glue these in. I think it's gonna be a lot easier. So these are 1/2-inch gussets, and I've cut the gusset covers to be 3/8 of an inch. I think I might be better off to put the glue in the gusset. And then I can cover it this way. I really do need to cover my gussets because I had some scoring issues and I didn't want to keep recutting paper because it's just such a waste. A lot easier doing it this way. Well, come on, Charlie. There we go. And then the last one. Okay, so my intent is it to lay in here like so. And I think as the paper relaxes, this will lay down a little bit. So you can see I have some room here. This could actually be folded back and tucked under here if you wanted to make your peaks that these are sitting on a little bit longer, then you've got the room here to do that. I taped the entire back of this. I felt I needed the tape immediately for stickness. Okay, so I want to come in here about 1 inch, I think. And then you still have a nice spot here to put in a photo, but this is going to lay over this way. Okay, and this is going to close, and that's going to close. Okay, let's get our tape on the back, and we can get it in the album. Now I've got quite a bit of weight here in the middle, so I'm going to use the 1/2 inch tape rather than the 3/8, and I'm going to run 3 strips rather than 2, just so that I've got that additional support in the middle of the signature. Okay, grab the album, and this is going to come in here and sit like so, but I am going to turn it on its side so that I can see 3 of the 4 sides. I don't want, with this much tape, I don't want to have a placement error, because it would take a lot of undo for me to get that undone. So I'm just going to back off the edge just a little bit, and then I'm going to set this down. I think I'm good. Let me just burnish this center tape down a little bit. And then we'll get in and start taking this apart. Well, not taking it apart literally, but taking the tape off. Well, come on, that tape just wants to keep resealing itself. All right, last one. Now I'm squishing this gusset to get in there, so I'm going to make sure that my gusset has flattened back out again, and then I will commit it. Okay, let's get this burnished in here nicely. I can hear that popping. All right, there we go. Something a little different. Very good. Hey, we'll see you on the next build. Until then.